Hello, welcome back. My name is Jo, and today we are doing a video fully inspired by the creator Cozy with Alicia, hopefully is how you pronounce her name, on Instagram. I will link that below. This is what her profile looks like, and she does how much I spent on hobbies monthly videos, and I just love that idea because I think, we see what people do with their hobbies so divorced from their spending, and so it can be, I don't know, obviously there's a lot of discussion online about overconsumption in all kinds of different spaces, which I think is so important, and I am someone who tries to pay attention to that quite a bit in both the physical aspect and also the financial aspect. So the beginning of this year I did a 3-month no-buy for non-essential things, and I'm going to do another one, but I do also have some planned purchases coming up. So I just thought it would be interesting to do July because I started working full-time again in June. So July was kind of the first time I kind of allowed myself to buy some things that I had been waiting for. I, definitely spent more on hobbies than I ordinarily would, but I do have some even bigger planned purchases coming up. So I just want to be conscientious of that and also show what that looks like for me. I do tend to overthink purchases. Not that I never impulsively spend money, but I impulsively usually spend money on things like snacks and sweets and things like that. So anyway, I'm just going to start out with subscriptions because actually none of these subscriptions were paid in this month. I have most of them on a yearly thing. So I have 4 things that count for this. I do have Netflix, but I use my sister's and she uses my Crunchyroll. So my Crunchyroll is on an annual plan. So it breaks down to $5.40 a month. I have an audiobook subscription, which is Storytel, which also breaks down to $5 a month. I do have Language Reactor Pro, which is an extension that allows you to save vocabulary, have dual subtitles on Netflix, things like that. So it's a language learning thing. That one I only had 3 months of, and so it breaks down to $4.66 a month. And then this is the only month that these overlap in my year-long subscription to Readlang, which is another language learning extension and website. Expires in it's already expired now. So that one was $4 a month. So after this, I will be switching to the annual Language Reactor Pro. And I'm not currently renewing Readlang. I still like it, but I just don't need both of them at the same time. This month it would have been $19 in subscriptions. Next month it will be $13.73. So for the month I spent $105, $106 basically, not including subscriptions, on hobbies. So I guess categories wise, the only explicitly language instruction kind of thing that I bought was a month's access to the Easy German Pro kind of thing, where they have all their lessons, they have their videos, but obviously their videos are public as well, but you can do additional activities after the videos. They have a Discord, a book club, things like that. So I bought 1 month of that, and it was $16.99. Other German things, I bought a German book at Half Price Books, just this little storybook, a international folklore storybook it was $3.99, so with taxes $4.31, and that was the only reading book that I got this month. However, I did buy 2 coloring books, so I did pick up the coloring book hobby this month. Obviously I have colored before in my life, and I did have an adult coloring book once before, but I never really got into it. But it's something that I think might be a good gateway to get me back into drawing, and it's just fun to do while I listen to audiobooks or watch something if it's not in a language I struggle with. As far as the books, I got these 2 books. The first one is Literary Cats, and I have colored 5 of these already. Very fun. This one I haven't touched yet because I'm intimidated by it, but this is the Witch Hat Atelier coloring book. Very beautiful. So I got both of those, and at first I just used my sister's coloring pencils to make sure that this was something I actually wanted to do, but I did really like it, and so I just got Crayola colored pencils. I went to Michael's and I got like the 36 pack of Crayola and then also the like 12 pack of pastels, and I did buy this 3-ring binder bag also this month, so technically that should go in here too, but it was like 78 cents on clearance at Meijer, so you can add 78 cents to my total. So yeah, that was my coloring book starting. I do not want to get into markers. I don't want to get into any of that. It's so much and I don't want to do it. Even though the pictures don't come out looking as like perfect or cool, I will stick to colored pencils, and that is fine for me at this stage of my life. The category of coloring, I spent $48.50, and we should be set up for quite some time because coloring does take some time for sure. Then my next category, I think the only next category, is gaming, and the first one is kind of silly. It's just kind of an idle game on mobile, or I play on my iPad, and that is Cats and Soup. I love Cats and Soup. I again listen to audiobooks while I'm playing it, or it is pretty idle, so you can have it up while you're like working or doing whatever. Have Cats and Soup up a lot. And so I did buy, they do like ad-free passes basically. And I think the longest one you can do is 6 months, so I'm pretty sure that's what I got for $9.99. So with taxes, again, it was $10.79. It just makes the game infinitely more playable. You can play completely for free, and I did that at first, but at various points when I have been playing it quite a bit, it's definitely worth it to do the ad-free if it's something that's within your budget. So then the Steam summer sale did happen, and there were 2 games that I was really, really interested in and was also potentially interested in recording for my Spanish channel. So this is kind of a gaming and a language learning thing. So I did buy these. They're both able to be played on Mac, so that's the only computer situation I have. I normally only play games on Switch or like retro. I got Tiny Bookshop, which I have wanted to play since it came out, but I couldn't decide whether to play it on Mac or on my Switch, and I just decided to go ahead and try recording while I was playing. I've only done 1 session, so I need to do more of that, but I do love it so far. So Tiny Bookshop and Coffee Talk Tokyo. Coffee Talk Tokyo, not Coffee Shop. Coffee Talk Tokyo. So I have played the original Coffee Talk. I have not played the second one, but I really, really enjoyed the first one. And again, it seems like a good game for language learning, for practicing languages. And yeah, so I got both of those for $25.25. It was a bundle deal, so I felt like it was well worth it, and I am very excited to play those. I need to actually do it. So those are the purchases that I actually made this month. I have 3 purchases planned that I think will be spread out over the rest pretty much of the year. Obviously there might be little things besides that, but I am wanting to do another 3-month no-buy with these as kind of approved exceptions. But I have plenty of games to play. I have plenty of books to read. I don't really need anything else. Obviously, if I finish all of the coloring that I have, I will buy another coloring book. But I'm really not wanting to like stock up on anything right now. But my first big purchase, which is definitely the biggest purchase by far, is I want a Switch 2. So once I feel like it's within my responsible financial planning to buy it, I will, but it is going to be in August because in September the price will go up in the US, so I am going to buy that in August, barring catastrophe. Then I have 2 purchases that are like, once I do this thing, I'm allowed to buy this thing. Once I finish the book that I'm reading in German right now, I am going to buy these audio productions in German that are like Doctor Who stories in audio form, and then I'll be able to load those into Language Reactor, the extension I was talking about, or the website I was talking about, to get the transcripts, and then I'll be able to work with those, and I'm very excited about that. I did first hear about these from the YouTuber Polyglot Progress, but I love Doctor Who. I haven't watched it in ages. I'm very much not caught up, but I do love both of the doctors that have these episodes available. There's, I think, 6 total. And so I'll probably start with 3, make sure it's not completely out of my level, and then get the rest of them. But very excited to be able to work with these. But I just need to finish the book that I'm reading in German currently. Then another German thing, I bought 3 German magazines earlier this year when I was in Switzerland. And I love having physical magazines. I think that they are so much fun. They're just so colorful and aesthetic. And it just makes the reading experience so much better. Like, I do read magazines digitally as well, but there's just no comparison. And so I found a website called papermagazines.com. Hopefully it's not a scam or something, but you can buy physical magazines from the international places. Like, you can subscribe to international magazines. Once I finish reading the 3 magazines that I already have, I do want to read like as much of them as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to make myself read like articles I hate or advertisements or whatever, but once I feel like I've really gone through all 3 of them, then I will allow myself to subscribe to 1 or 2 German magazines. I mean, they are quite expensive. Magazine subscriptions are quite expensive because obviously you're buying a whole year of issues, however many that is. I'll just pick a number that I'm, okay with spending. But I think that would be really motivational for me, so I'm going to try to do that. So yeah, those are kind of my big 3 purchases that I have planned. I have been thinking about them for quite some time now, so I think I feel quite good about continuing with that plan. So yeah, let me know if these kind of videos are interesting to you. I love seeing them, and so I think it would be awesome if they were kind of more common, if we had these conversations more openly. I don't know, I just find it really interesting how people decide what to spend their money on and that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.